You are listening to chartingwealth.com for Wednesday, the 18th of April, 2018. We see everything up for the day. Markets are booming. S&P 500 up over 1%. The NASDAQ 100 up 2.15%. 20-year bonds up 0.27%, and gold up just a little 0.09%. Let's jump right in and see what we see with the S&P 500. When we look at our weekly chart, which is where we always start, we can see that the price percent oscillator is headed up, derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. Of course, we still have a down trend on the weekly chart, but that does appear to be losing lots of speed and momentum at this point so far. After a lackluster weekend the prior week with the doji, again meaning indecision tending up after 3 strong weeks through the week ending the 6th of April of down movement, we now are into a week so far, 2 days in only, with strong up movement. A nice green up candle. Nice to see again. Haven't seen a green open box candle on the weekly chart since all the way back in mid-March. So we see that building. 2-day chart, of course, crossed over going up back on Monday the 16th. And now we have 5 candles forming. Again, the latest candle is only halfway done. It's just the first half, the first day of the latest candle. But again, it's another big green up candle, bigger than all the last. Looks like things are building. We can see the derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum, price percent oscillator shooting up on that 2-day chart, price movement well above the 2-day trend line. And as we look at the 4-hour chart, we can see that again, it crossed over. We have to backtrack a little bit all the way to the 4th of April, went up for about a day and a half, then down for a day, and then has been tracking up pretty much. It rolled sideways a little bit, but pretty much since it took off going up on the 10th. And of course, this latest day is the strongest day yet. Derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum after really a sideways slide there, and the price percent oscillator heading up quite nicely. So continue to keep your eye on the S&P 500, and we'll see if by the end of the week there's a crossover going up. May happen, hasn't happened yet. Continue to keep our eye on things. We had the NASDAQ 100 up strongly over the course of the day on Tuesday, and again another green open box strong up moving candle. We can see that the derivative oscillator is losing downward momentum. Price percent oscillator is headed up. Price movement well above the down trend on the weekly chart. As we plug in a little closer to that 2-day chart, we can see that it is crossing over, has not been confirmed at this point because, of course, we're only 1 day into the 2-day candle, but we have literally 1, 2, 3, 4 going into the 5th. 9 days of up movement. This latest day is the strongest. We'll see how the 2-day candle ends on Wednesday. Price movement, of course, shot above the weekly downtrend back on the 16th. And, of course, well above the downtrend on the 2-day chart. That was broken quite a while back. So we'll continue to keep our eye on the price. Derivative oscillator has also gone positive. And that's a good sign for a strong cross. A continued strong cross on that 2-day chart. We'll continue to keep our eye on things. What do we see on the 4-hour chart? Well, of course, it crossed over back in the morning, on the afternoon, on the 4th of April, Wednesday the 4th of April, similar to the S&P 500, up for a day, then down for about a day and a half, and then it started going up actually back on the 9th, and pretty much unabated up movement since then, except for a little pullback in the afternoon on this past Friday the 13th. Otherwise, strong up movement in the Qs. So we'll continue to keep our eye on things. We'll see if by the end of the week that weekly chart has rolled over going up after all that strong down movement. Hasn't happened yet. We'll keep you posted. What's going on 20-year bonds? Well, of course, we had a weekly vertical crossover going up back on the 29th. That was March the 29th. We had a good strong week up. Then had a week of sideways sliding. So far this week we see a doji, even though we've been up both days for the week. We'll bore into that more in a little bit. We talked about how the derivative oscillator and the price percent oscillator are both going up, even though you don't see that in the Heikin Ashi candlestick movement. The indicators are showing up movement as far as price pacing goes, as far as oscillation goes on our indicators for the weekly chart. We look at the 2-day, we see a little bit more. We see really a sideways slide. So far, this first day of the latest 2-day candle is up. We saw the weekend up on the prior week, well, actually on Thursday. Then we saw sort of a down candle for Friday and Monday. That was last Friday the 13th and Monday the 16th. The price percent oscillator is headed up. Derivative oscillator continuing to lose downward momentum, however. And of course, price is below the weekly trend line and below the 2-day trend line, but we do have some price up movement. As we look at the 4-hour chart, we can see a little more where things sort of bottomed out in the morning on Monday the 16th and have been up the next 3 candles, meaning Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning, and Tuesday afternoon. And it looks like we're getting close to a crossover going up on the 4-hour chart. Derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. Price percent oscillator getting close to crossing over going up. So we shall continue to watch and see. Remember, we are in confirmed up moves on the 2-day and the weekly. And if we have a crossover going up, of course, that is a jumping in point for you on an up move on the 20-year bonds. Now, back to the weekly chart to take a look at gold. What do we see there? Well, we see on the weekly chart, gold is trying yet again to cross over going up on the weekly chart. Has not done it because the weekly chart hasn't closed. It won't close, that weekly candle rather, won't close until Friday. It's tried for about the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, what is that, 5 weeks to cross over going up. Hasn't managed to do so. Primarily, we had that pullback back on the week ending the 6th of April, and that was again a bit of a weakener for our oscillators. 2-day chart has crossed over going up. We'll see if indeed the weekly does by the end of the week. The 2-day crossed over and then, of course, bounded, hit back down on the red signal line, laminated there, and then bounced off. And that was primarily due to the strong up movement on the 2-day candle for the 12th. And we've really seen a sideways slide since then. First day of the latest 2-day candles, a red spinning top. It is an open box, not a solid, again, meaning indecision, and again, probably more up than down. We see there was some down movement on the 4-hour chart on gold in the morning and then followed by up movement in the afternoon. So we'll just continue to keep our eye on gold and see what we see. I keep hoping that our 4-hour chart is going to start working again. I guess it really wasn't too bad this last crossover, but we want crossovers that we can really count on with some sustained movement. And the herky-jerky action in gold is not making us feel real comfortable with that. So we'll just continue to track things and see what they do. That's where we are, folks, as we end the day on Tuesday and go into Wednesday, the 18th of April. We appreciate you being with us. Don't forget, we've got our book for pre-ordering for sale right now. If you go ahead and check out the website, if you look under all the information we download every day with our daily market reviews, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or our website, chartingwealth.com, you'll see a link to our sales page there. You can go ahead and pre-order the book, Chart Your Way to Wealth, in addition to going ahead and getting our spiral-bound traders journals, which are available now for purchase. Each one of them contains enough material for 3 months of your charting the markets with us. And we have a special discount. I believe it's 15% off if you buy a year's supply of those traders journals at once. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team here at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.